Well, that's the planting well underway in the garden, and we're so happy. And it's just a few trees, but they've just lifted this garden out of the ground from this 2D shape that's been on the ground, and again, looking amazing. But to see it actually just come lifted with this little bit of height that we've given it, and again, to find 6 cypress trees all the same size, all the same sort of shape is remarkable, to be honest with you. But there's still going to be a little work. Obviously, this is Shane's plan, so this is how we wanted it. And again, you're drawn down the stair and you're drawn through this alley, and it does feel like a little alley now. And we're going to now make sure that these stay straight and stay tall. We do get a bit of wind in the garden, so we're going to have to basically reinforce the trees. We have to manage them in winter. They can't take snow settling on them because they'll bow and break and stuff. So if we see any snow, whether it's the middle of the night or not, we're going to have to come down and shake the trees. But it's all good fun. It's just one of the joys of having a beautiful garden like this. But other than that, they're going to be great for this garden. So now the work's going to be, we're going to attach rebar to them. We've got some nice 3 metre long piece of rebar. We don't want these pretty much higher than 2.5 metres anyway, so it's going to be ideal to keep them in that sort of size wise. And once they get to that sort of height, we can top them, and then we just keep them in shape and watch them bush out and become absolutely beautiful. So we have our rebar. Going to be a really easy process with this, just literally getting it in the ground next to the root ball, and all we'll do is get it in. There we go. And all we'll do is we'll attach some twine to it and just tie it round. So I'm going to crack on with that. Go. So we've got our rebar in the ground, and the reason for the rebar, like I say, is to keep the trees upright and give them the support, because we do get windy days, especially in autumn and spring. So it's just to give them that support so that they don't bow and they don't break and they don't bend. We've gone about 50 centimetres into the ground, which in American is what, probably 18, 20 inches, say, into the ground. So it's got good support. It's not going to go anywhere. All we're going to do is literally, with a little bit of twine, loosely tie it to this, just so that when it is windy, it moves with the actual rebar itself, and it's not going to be too flexible. It's not going to move all over the place, and it shouldn't snap with that. This is on Shane's advice, so we know it's good advice. So we'll do it in probably 3 places, top, middle and bottom. And that should just provide it all the extra strength that it needs and keep our cypresses looking beautiful. And obviously we've put them on the back quarter here. The reason being, when we're taking photos or walking into the garden, we don't want it to be the first thing that you see. And we've just said there, most people take photos that way to get the view of the chateau in the background, and other people coming down this way, we just don't want them to see it be the first thing that you notice, sort of thing. In time they'll completely disappear and they'll be completely enveloped by the actual trees themselves. But for now, it's just something we have to do to make sure that they're good. So I'm going to crack on with the rest of them now. All looking good, all pretty much hidden, so time to go on with the rest of the planting now. Get these couple more 100 plants in. Let's crack on.
go. There, but I moved that Ceanothus to the end.
All right, the blue one, yeah, right in the
So
corner.
that we don't have to worry as much about how big it's going to get.
Right. Yeah,
Switched it with the bubbly. So.
Yeah. There's a massive bubbly in the shower block if you need any of them.
No, one.
I was going to say, it's gone huge.
Yeah, they do. They get big. And they can be pruned pretty rough.
This one smells amazing, this one. Smells amazing, this one. Salvia.
Crazy.
Smells amazing. Yeah.
They're all smelling on things.
Well, it's well underway here in the garden. It is just starting to, it's coming to life, isn't it, Shane?
Yeah.
Even you're excited. I can see the excitement.
It's been
in
a
your-
long couple days.
Yep,
We
it
got a
has.
lot of plants and a lot of plants in the ground.
Yep. There's easy, what, good few hundred plants here?
Yeah.
Minimum.
Minimum. Yeah.
So
I think I'm working hard on your budgets.
yeah, it's but it's going to be worth it. And we've just been talking about like how some of them look small and petite right now, but the effect that these are going to have when this garden starts to mature and come to life.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in these conditions, I mean, in the appropriate soils and composts that we've been putting them in, really are going to help them to really grow quickly.
And I'm excited with some of the stuff that I wasn't expecting. I've got my passion flower.
Yes, I definitely made sure that we got the passion
I was
flower.
so happy that it was when we very first holidayed in France.
That's up there on the terrace, on
Yep.
the wall.
And it's just so beautiful. It's just one of the first flowers I
Yeah.
remember seeing holidaying in France. And then we got fig trees.
Big trees. We got one over. Both are going to be espaliered. One is on the wall,
Yep.
on the back wall, on the south facing, and then one on the west facing wall over there. Both will be espaliered. So
Yep.
one is a dark violetta. It has a very dark fig on it, and then over there is more of a green fig.
So because you've designed all of this has all come from your head, and the flowers and the bushes, and it's not just aesthetically pleasing. It's the floral scents and just the different text. It's everything, isn't it? It's a combined.
And it's also what's available.
Yes.
We have had. I mean, it's very interesting. You know, in the States, the nurseries tend to produce a lot of material for spring, and then throughout summer they continue to have material, whereas here they're very much focused on the appropriate times for planting, which is early spring, so April, March, and then also in October, November, which are great times for planting, but you also don't get the option to see what's going to bloom throughout other periods of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, the selection was
limited,
but we did find some really good nurseries, and we're able to come up with some really good selections. I did have to make some substitutions for the plan,
but
so
they're good substitutions, and,
yeah,
and they're going to look
definitely.
absolutely amazing. You can just
Definitely.
see, so when you look at just a small bed like this, the amount of different textures and colours, and just the variety in a little bed like this, and how it's going to look. And then we've got Terry's beautiful urns as well, and are we going to plant them as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be talking to Terry about what we can find and what's going to be good for those. We went with some geraniums and some eucomis, the pineapple lily, and then I'm trying to also incorporate some evergreen material so that things are good year round. So the euonymus emerald gaiety at the back, which will kind of be espaliered again on the back wall somewhat, and give you some variegated winter color. Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a few things that you've got so that this garden is kind of good all year round.
I really try to do that. I really try to give some. I use some variegated evergreen material to try to get year-round color available. We have, like in this bed, we have. This is it used to be called Parahebe. I can't remember what the new name is. Again, we repeated the euonymus so that we're having some repeats throughout the garden.
Yep.
Gives some continuity. And then right here is a Choicea Aztec Pearl, which is a fantastic evergreen shrub, very durable, beautiful white flowers in the spring.
But that smells amazing as well, doesn't it? It's got like a citrusy, fresh fragrance to it.
The foliage, actually, the texture.
It was windy in the garden here, and we obviously had a couple next to the steps all year. And when you came in the garden, it whipped up that smell. You could smell it in the air. It was lovely.
Great.
It was really pleasant. But so we've got pretty much the outside beds all in, planted and ready now. So it's going to be a case of us learning how to look after it now, which Shane has left us with some amazing knowledge.
Very quick tutorial.
Yeah,
but I'm also available. So.
Yes, so I can imagine a few
it's
video
a small
calls.
world.
A few video calls. Shane, what do we do with this? But it's been amazing having you here for this. Even this last week, from what this was when you arrived at the beginning of the week to where we are now, that must be a mega.
It's pretty fun for both you and me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really been a wonderful experience for me to do as well. So
we've absolutely loved it, and we love having Shane here because, like I say, we learn every time he comes. We learn so much. We spend so much, but we learn so much as well. So it's all good. So
yeah,
I think it's time for a couple of beers now, don't you?
I think so.
Come on then.
Yeah. All right.
If you'd like to be part of our journey and help restore the chateau, then please join us on Patreon, where you'll be part of our journey, receive a piece of the history, and get exclusive videos.